we're doing our pre-trip today, and yesterday you guys saw I went to Wendy's, and I'm like, I parked in that spot and the truck wouldn't start afterwards, whether I pushed the clutch in or not, and it wouldn't even crank. So I'm like, all right, so I got out, there's a big puddle here, you know, load of crap. And I'm like, all right, let's smack the starter. And I smacked the starter and noticed it was coming loose, you know, just like, you know, ever so slightly. I put the starter in California months and months and months ago, and I know every time I do a starter, at some point they back themselves out. This is the wrench I used before, and I cranked those bolts down and they still come loose. So usually the second time I crank the bolts down, they don't come loose. So it's like, I don't know why they always do that, but they do. So I just tightened the starter down, checked the oil. By the way, guys, it is beautiful today. It feels like fall. Like, this is the weather that I absolutely love. It's got a little bit of wind, got a little bit of heat. It's like, we're getting close to winter time, and I'm feeling it. I'm super excited for that. But I want this truck perfect before winter time because I don't want to be working on it when it's super cold out, but I absolutely love fall weather. So you guys are probably wondering, you know, what does this load pay? Two of these pay $1,000 and one of these pays $1,050, so it's $3,050 going down, and two of them are going north of Miami and then one's going south of Tampa. So I got to drop that one over there way up north of Miami, this one just to south of that, and then that one's going to shoot to Tampa. So I'm going to drop those two first, and then after I drop those two, I'm going to try to find something. If I don't see anything on the Tampa side, decide, okay, let's go drop that one off and see if we can't find anything else, or if I can't find anything on the Miami side. So let's get moving. I'm going to put some coolant in it and we'll go from there. All right, so I went through and greased every one of the bearings, just 6 to 8 pumps on each one of them, depending. So when I get back, I'm gonna start sourcing parts to get new bearings, and probably start buying brake parts and all that. So we'll go from there. But in the meantime, we're gonna run it and we'll go from there. Still don't know where coolant's going. Not like a super big deal. It goes through a gallon of coolant every now and again, but it's like every day or two, or every 2 days, something like that. So it's like, I don't know. I'm not super worried about it right now, but again, I mean, truck's still making money, so I'm not worried about it. There's a lot of people upset that, you know, oh, I go buy a new truck. Somebody made a good comment on that. People would rather look like 10% millionaires because they went out and spent 100 grand on a truck or a setup. And it's like, I don't know, man. I'm gonna go over my numbers at the end of the year, but keep in mind, I started late this year. I started in March, and then I did power only for most of the year, and I just got this trailer now, so I've been doing like way better. And I've already grossed $93,000 this year with a $15,000 truck. And the majority of the year, like I said, I started late. The majority of the year was power only. So it's like, I don't think we're doing too bad. Now, mind you, you know, YouTube ad revenue counts in there just because, but that's not even like, I don't know. I probably only made 6 or 7 grand off of ad revenue this year. Maybe a little bit more, but nothing, you know, it's not insane. By the way, YouTube ad revenue for next month is up to like $2,775. So you guys are awesome. That, I just give that check to the fiance and she pays the bills. We can get, you know, now at this point, we're going to start fixing up the house because of that. It's like, we need stuff for the bathroom, and there's like, you know, we live in a trailer. It's paid off. It's not like bad. We live in a really good community. But the thing is, like, I want to start going over it and making it nice. Like, the previous owners just like rigged the shit out of everything. We need a new porch. We need a new a toilet. We need like a couple of things, you know, some flooring and stuff like that. Previous owner, her husband was very, very lazy and would make her do everything, and he wouldn't even work, and it was just, yeah, it's god awful. So it's like, yeah, so because of that, I'm able to afford to go and just start throwing money at that. So you guys are awesome for supporting, and if you're out there hating, you're contributing to that ad revenue too. So if you're gonna, every single time you come to leave a comment and hate, I get paid for it. I get paid for that first ad, so thank you guys as well. All right, we're filling up now. I'm gonna get a scale ticket here in a little bit, just so that I know what I am full of fuel. So we'll go from there. Nothing's moved. Get them as close as possible. Unfortunately down here I really can't, but you know, the flip outs did not need to be used on this load. And for anybody thinking, here, guess the weights. Just let me know what you guys think I weigh. But keep in mind, there's no engine or transmission in this guy. So it's like, what do you guys really think I weigh? There's not even a drive shaft, nothing. So, let's get this tank full and we'll go from there. Fifth wheel has been awesome. I haven't had any issues with like sliding and shit like I did with the old trailer, so I don't know what's up with that, but this hitch is way beefier. The kingpin on this one is way beefier than the last one. It had a round style and it was just way smaller. Like you can see the circle in the middle. This has that big square plate there, so it's like, I like this a lot more. I definitely do. Gonna get around to the other side. Yes, we got some flat tires on this pile. This thing ain't going anywhere. Look at that. Close as possible. I wanted one more, but that bar got in the way, so not a big deal, but it's looking good. I was really excited to try the flip outs today, and apparently you can fit 3 cars on here just fine. So I'm assuming on a 53-foot wedge with flip outs, you can get 4 cars on that, but I really think for my setup, I got the perfect trailer. I really do. Absolutely love it. One of the DOT officers saw this and did not say a word about it. I definitely need to fix that. Here's your answer, guys. 5,020 pounds on the steer axle, 7,920 pounds on the drive axle, and 12,000 pounds on the trailer axle. We are 24,940 pounds. We are underweight for what we're registered for and CDL limits, and we have a full tank of fuel. So that is awesome. This load is a really good load. Now, if I wanted to shave it probably about 700 pounds off, you know, I wouldn't have to fill the aux tank. So if worst case scenario, like the Mustang had an engine and transmission in it, you just can't fill the fuel tank is all. But even then, I think we'd still be underweight if it had an engine and transmission, because it gives me about 1,060 pounds. So we're pretty good right now. This scale house fucked me. I'm like, I saw it said open, I was like, all right, whatever, and then it said closed. I'm like, all right, whatever, and then it fucking flips right back to open. It's like, damn it. All right, we're going from 70 to 3 miles an hour and like that. Oh, man. All right, whatever. I think, yeah, North Carolina has 2 scale houses down 95. See, I'm trying to memorize this, so that way I know. I think South Carolina only has 1. And then Georgia, I think, has 2. Florida has 3 down 95. So, trying to memorize 75 and 95 since I'm going to be doing this route for a long time. Alright, so I decided to stop. The brake light randomly, like, it flashed like once or twice. I don't know if my pedal went down. I was able to get like an inch to come back up. Because, like, usually, you know, if a wheel bearing goes out or something like that, it'll throw the brake light. So I want to go over and just check all the temperatures and everything. Make sure everything's decently, yeah, it says 117. So just go over all the temperatures. Not a big deal. This is where the caps do suck, so they're about all the same. Let's check over here. All my lug nuts are still there. 110. Shaft's about 110. So let's go over all the ones back here and just make sure everything's good. Not that these have anything to do with it, but it is nice to know the temperature of your bearings. So we've gotten bypassed at every scale today, which was about 3 of them, which is great. So they're all 106 to 111. And then we'll go check the other side. I don't think anything's wrong. I just, you know what, I saw it and I'm like, you know, maybe my e-brake was down a little bit, which triggered it. 116. Yeah, so everything looks all right. Nothing's moved yet or anything. This chain's tight. You know, the bottom one there, but just tight. I can't. That's the shitty side of these caps. is that you just can't check the temperatures on them. So I'm gonna get the mat out, lay underneath, and then start shooting everything with the temp gun and make sure everything's good. So all the temps came out fine, so I guess I'm not super worried about it. I really do think it might have just been the e-brake. Edge decided to shut off again. So the cable, the stupid thing on the back, this thing fell off and it went in the door, and then I accidentally slammed the door on it and didn't know that I did that. And yeah, I slammed the door on it, bent the new cable 90 degrees, repinned it, put it all back together, and sometimes it just randomly shuts off at this point. So I don't know. So we're meeting up out here. And we're looking at our rail systems, and you know, there was a bunch of people in the comments that said, hey, these need to run along the frame. You know, let's see back here. He's got his set up too. This is from Enterprise. Hey, this is his basically rail setup. He has his plate, gooseneck in the front, still plenty of clearance. I think that's a 9-foot neck, right? Yeah, I was gonna say, because Big Tex does an 8-foot. So this is a 9-foot neck. And if you were to flip that ball around and put it on the back, he'd gain another 6 inches, so it would go even further back, be well over 40 feet or 65 feet. But you guys can see, like, this is how the rails are installed. It's installed the same way on mine. Obviously a different plate system. I have a different one, but I'm using the 5th wheel now, which is what he used to use. But you guys can see, like, tell me if you flip these sideways, see how that ball's offset? I haven't seen one person argue that since I called him out yesterday. So let's see if anybody's dumb enough to install these rails along the frame. I think, yeah, you can see it. So this setup right here, this is just a big old bracket. And then you guys can see up under there. So whereas mine's a universal kit where it just has L brackets and whatnot. So aside from that,
mine's forward, so I transfer some weight to the front right away.
Yeah, that's how I had mine at first, but it was, what was the issue I was having with mine being forward? I think it was the mud flaps.
Yeah.
The mud flaps were my issue, so I moved mine back. But we literally, at the perfect time, you got here 10 minutes before me, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So we met at the, oh, there's a Love's. Yeah. You guys can see I make a big deal about these every time I see them. So we met up at the perfect time, and we were literally the exact same distance away. He was like 10 minutes before me, so it's like, get some Subway and...
Chalks in your
yeah, he threw me some 2 chalks and a snatch block for the, I'll show you guys here. 2 chalks and a snatch block. So definitely a lot better than snatch blocking up against the D-ring that's right there. Pretty nice, but yeah, his setup's a little bit nicer than mine. This is Enterprise. How do you like Enterprise?
When the trucks are broken down, they rent you the car, they pay for the hotel, you drive back up to Indiana, pick up another truck and go.
Now, my biggest question, because so many people give me shit for the 04, and they're like, oh, go buy a new truck, as if it's simple as that. What's your experience with new trucks? And you've had, what, 4 now? 4. And what's your experience with them?
They all break.
And they leave you on the side of the road stranded?
On the side of the road, and at least with Enterprise, it's a phone call and a truck within 3 days.
That's all. That's why I do like the Enterprise system.
The first truck I had was 5 months before they replaced the CB4. The second truck is still in Fairburn, Georgia.
So what you're saying is they have a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
When they do break. Yeah. Now they don't all break, but when they do, you better have a truck like this as a backup, yeah, or another new truck. But it's like, if you get 2 broken new trucks.
This comes out to, because they charge you tax, they charge you a service fee or something.
Yeah.
And it's roughly 25 cents a mile. So I get a monthly statement every 19th.
Plus your fuel. So basically you're paying 25 cents a mile plus your fuel cost. Yeah. It is a little expensive to not own a truck, but you have no downtime pretty much. Like your downtime might be a day.
Whatever it takes to get me from where I'm at to Elkhart and pick up another truck.
Okay, so basically the biggest breakdown I've had with this cost me 3 days. And that was one time in 2 years that like I'd say a year and a half that I ran this truck, and every other breakdown would cost less than an hour or 2 most of the time. So it's like, it's nice to see somebody else's perspective on camera.
Last month it was 2509 or something like that for the month, and I pay weekly. So every week They call me.
Yeah, so I mean, the cost is definitely up there, but you know that you're going to be able to keep running.
And every 60,000 miles or 6 months, I'm going to get another truck.
Yeah.
And they take care of all the maintenance.
And where I told people with new trucks, if you're going to go buy a new truck, always make double payments, because what's going to happen is you're going to get a 5-year plan, and in 2.5 years, you're going to have 200 to 300,000 miles on it, and you're going to be upside down. Whereas if you make double payments, by the time you hit 250,000 miles, your shit's paid off.
Yeah,
now you own this truck and the trailer. So
paid off. And it's right around, I'd say about 78 to maybe 83 cents a mile, depending upon what my fuel is. That's the only, my insurance and everything's pretty constant, but the fuel is the biggest.
Well, it's like depending on how many miles you run a month, your insurance is the same amount every month. So it's like that's going to stay the same, but how much it costs you per mile. Say you run 10,000 miles this month, but only 3,000 this month. You know,
tolls is, with Enterprise, it's a minimum 5,000 a month.
Yeah.
So last month, and the miles I did, like I said.
So fun fact, I talked to Ricky Load Miser about this. We were on the phone the other day, and this is funny. Enterprise called him because he didn't run enough miles the 1 month, but he still paid for the 5,000 miles, and they still got mad at him. Like, how are you going to tell someone when they can and can't work if they're paying you for the truck anyway?
I get a text every Tuesday morning confirming the miles.
Exactly.
The miles they know the miles.
That's what he said.
Automatically.
And it's like, but it's like he only ran like a couple thousand miles because, you know, he had vacation for a month, and 5,000 miles, he still paid for it, and they still got mad at him. He's like, no, you got to run this truck. And it's like,
I don't know who he's dealing with, but I deal with Blake out of Elkhart, and
I don't know who he deals with either, but it's just kind of cool to hear everybody's like stories and go from there. But yeah, for my situation, for guys that say, why don't you go get a new truck? Because there's absolutely no point. So next truck you guys see from me on the channel will probably be a 3rd gen 5500 Ison 2-wheel drive. That's what I want, but it won't be for a while. This truck will probably have 650,000 miles on it before I buy another truck, and I still want to hit 1 million on this. So it's gonna happen. But yeah, so that's basically his opinion on new truck and all that, and he's experienced it. So 4 trucks. I'm glad somebody could set this straight, but it's like, you know, there are new trucks that are great.
But the only thing like to go along with that is I can turn this in anytime.
And no commitment.
No payment, no. Yep.
Yeah, and I don't know. And how available are these though too at the same time when somebody wants to get into it new, you're on a waiting list.
Yeah, I don't know if they still have a waiting list, but the last one broke down, and he had one. Both times when it broke down, and the third one that I had to switch out, they had trucks available.
Yeah.
So they've got
they have you taken care of because you're already there.
I'm already in.
But if you're not already in, here's your 100, 300, 400 waiting list. It's like, so other than that, not a bad looking setup. He is CDL, by the way, so you'll see the tandem dualies. I'm working on it. I'm going for the test when I get back next week. So other than that, good looking truck. Yeah. His sleeper setup's a little different than mine. I sleep on the back seat, but everything's stored, everything's easy to take out. Original interior, so you don't have to return it to Enterprise looking, you know, and you have to actually work for it to even just give it back. So aside from that, there's your comparison between the two. You got new and you got old, and it's like, I'll stick with my old, but Enterprise, if you pay for it, it sounds like it's definitely a good deal. God, look how huge. Damn.
And it is true. The thing that this lacks over the new ones is the exhaust brake and the mode.
Yeah, the Rams have the best exhaust brake, hands down.
It'll go from like 1,500 to 3,000 like that. And you're like,
all right, so that's basically his opinion on it. He's lived through it. Hope you guys enjoyed this segment. We're gonna get back into the driving portion where, like I said, I gave you guys the rates for this morning. Keep those rates in mind. I told you it was $3,050. Watch how shitty my rate is coming back out of Florida.
I'm going to Suffolk to go to California for 6
Yeah, he gets, with this freight, he gets good rates. So with cars, it's like 3 down is great. If I could get 3 back, I'd be happy, but you're not gonna get it. Not with this number right here. That needs to stay 30,000. Then maybe we'll start seeing some better rates.
I'm a portion for 40.
Yeah, he's good for 40. When I get the 5500 and a 25K, since yours is only a 350, I'll be good for like 50-ish, but I'm only gonna register. I'll probably register for that, but I'll probably never go over 40. Not with freight, no. No reason to beat the hell out of the truck, but
It really isn't.
yeah. Alright, well, I refuse to step out because you know how the ground is at Love's. It's all wet right now, smells like piss. You know, the whole 9 yards. So we found one spot. I had to drive around to find this spot, but then I saw it after I came around for the third time. They were in 4 low, and here we go. So gauges don't work anymore for some reason. They keep freaking out, so I got to rewire them. Great. Thank you, Glow Shift. That's pretty much gonna do it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think. Drop down in the comments what you think about these new trucks, your experiences with the new trucks, not just your opinions on them, but I want to know your guys' experiences. But that is pretty much gonna do it. We are dropping in 3.5 hours tomorrow, so I'll probably be dropping by noon. I get up pretty late. I'm not even in a hurry anymore to get these, so it's like I was in Pennsylvania yesterday, I'm in Florida today, so not rushing or doing any of that stuff. I got, let's see, it's not really all that far to Florida either. I think I left yesterday. I picked these up yesterday. I drove 385 miles yesterday, and I drove 652 today, so 900 something. Yeah, about 1,000 miles, not too bad. So that's pretty much, that's it. That's it, we're doing it. So hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next one. Look at that car hauler. By taking them cheap rates. Looks like those are dealership cars. I wonder what the dealerships pay. Hopefully pretty good, but I don't know. See you in the next video, guys. Have a good one.